Hello, welcome. It is so great to see you guys today. I want to talk to you today about how to create a content strategy for your business that makes it easy so that you can show up each week without having to guess at what you want to speak about and what you want to talk about. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Darlene, and I work with ambitious, heart-centered online entrepreneurs who want to create a successful personal brand and business so they can share their message with the world, attract dream clients, and have the impact, freedom, and flexibility that they desire. So how do we create content that is super easy and strategic, and so that we don't have to always wonder what we need to do to show up each week? So here's a couple tips that I use for my business to make sure that I'm showing up when I need to, and it doesn't take very long to create content. So one of the first things I like to do is I like to plan out for the month. So it's the beginning of March, and one of the things I like to do at the end of the month, so I actually sat down over the weekend, and I thought of what are the different topics that I want to talk about in the month of March. And I wrote down a topic for each week that would be great for my ideal clients. And the reason I like to plan the 30 days in advance is it gives me a chance to start thinking about that content title or what I think I want to talk about. So I don't have to just sit down to a blank computer screen and think of a topic and start writing something immediately. It gives me a chance to think about it and start working on it beforehand. So if I'm out for a walk, or if I'm taking a shower, or if I'm working with a client, the topic is kind of top of mind. So what I do is I just have a notes tab on my phone, and I write out what those topics are going to be for the month. And as I think of ideas that would fit in line with that topic, I just jot down a little note. So like for today's episode, I have the ability over the weekend to think about what I might talk about creating content. So when I sat down to do this video, I didn't have to make this up. I already have some bullet points and some ideas that I can talk to you about. So that's one thing I like to do, is plan out 30 days of content so I know each week what I'm talking about, so that as ideas come to me, I can just write down a note or a bullet to help make that process a little easier. The other thing I like to do is I like to sit down on Friday nights at the end of the week and map out my next week. So on Friday nights, I sit down for usually 15 minutes, and I just look at what my calendar has for the next week. I plug in all the big rocks, any appointments, client sessions, anything like that. I plug those in, and then I look at my weekly tasks, and I know that I want to create a new blog post. I want to schedule a social media posts and those different things. And I actually write those into my calendar so that I know on Monday morning when I get to my desk, I can open up my calendar and I already know what's going on for the week. And I don't have to guess or think about what I need to work on. It's all right there waiting for me. And then the third thing I like to do is I like to bulk schedule my content. So I sit down on Mondays, and that's when I work on my newsletter and my blog. So this week I'm doing a vlog, so I'm recording a video with this content. Some weeks I just write a blog post, but I like to bulk schedule this in my calendar. So on Monday mornings I have usually anywhere from 1 to 2 hours blocked out where I just work on content for the week, whether it's going to be for social media posts, if it's going to be a new blog, a newsletter, whatever that is. I like to have it in my calendar, and I like to schedule a bulk time slot to work on that. That way I don't have to work on it for a short amount of time and then come back to it later. I can just sit down. I've given myself enough time to do it, and I work on it and I finish it up so that it's ready to be scheduled out for the week for my content. So that's one of the ways that makes it easier for me to sit down and do it. And another thing, I get a lot of questions from my clients about how often do I need to hop into Facebook or Instagram and interact with my audience, with the people that are in my groups. And one of the things that I like to do is typically I'll just pop into my Facebook group or my business page or on my Instagram channel. I'll just schedule a 10 to 15 minute time frame where I can hop into those groups and ask questions, answer questions, whatever that looks like. So especially I send out my newsletters on Wednesdays, and I schedule into my day later that afternoon, because I have my posts also go out to Instagram and to my Facebook group and my page. And I schedule into my afternoon later on Wednesday, and then also on Thursday mornings, a slot where I can go back in and answer questions. give feedback if somebody has something that they've asked. It just gives me a chance to schedule a small amount of time, and then I don't have to always be on Facebook and always be going in and checking for those responses. I just schedule a short amount of time that I can show up each week. And that's one of the ways that I like to create content that's strategic, and it allows me to get in and get out without taking up too much of my time. So just to recap, plan your content 30 days in advance. So if you haven't yet, it's the first Monday of March. So sit down today and think about the content that you want to create for March. What does that look like? Make a plan for yourself for what type of content you're going to create, and make that, like, write that list out. And then at the end of the week on Friday, sit down and schedule out your week for the upcoming week. Look at when you're going to be able to sit down and create your content, what tasks need to happen and when they're going to happen. And then the third thing is to bulk schedule. So plan a chunk of time that works for you in your calendar where you can create content in that bucket of time. So for me, it's usually Monday mornings between 9 and 11. That's when I create all my content and get everything put together. And I know that's just a habit that I have now, and it makes it so much easier to show up because I already know what my topic's going to be. I've mapped it out on the Friday before. I've blocked in that time, and sometimes it shifts, right? Like maybe if I have something else going on Monday mornings, I might have to switch that time to the afternoon, but it's still scheduled. And I know that that's what I'm going to be working on at that specific time. And then I also schedule in my calendar time to go back in and engage with the group anywhere that I posted my content, so that I can show back up and answer questions. And especially if you do this inside somebody else's Facebook group. So if you take one of your posts and you share it just as a post, make sure you add to your calendar time to go back into that group and see if there's any follow-up questions, see if anybody's asked anything, so that you can make best use of your time each week. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that this helps you with creating a content strategy that works great for your business, so you don't have to keep guessing at how to show up. If you have any questions, please leave them below. I'm happy to come back and answer them. And also, if you're not sure what type of content you should be creating and how you should be showing up, and you want to jump on a clarity call with me, I would be happy to jump on a call with you and kind of walk through this process with you, so that you can start creating content that is resonating with your ideal clients, has you showing up consistently, and has you signing more clients. So have an amazing week, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.